I'm Elliot Johns. I started swimming for Carmel Swim Club in 2004.
How old were you?
I was 9.
Okay.
Or no, I was 8. I'm sorry. I had been swimming for my neighborhood summer swim league. Knew people who were also swimming for Carmel at the time, and kind of wanted to give it a shot. Quickly, the Carmel swimming sort of took precedent over the, neighborhood swim team, and I went through all the way through college. And then all of my family, 2 sisters and a brother, also swim, and Ethan's now a junior in high school at the club. So
Pretty cool. It's been an era of the Johns family.
yes. One of my earliest memories, I think, was we were living in North Carolina at the time. I think I was 5, and they had done one of the they throw the quarters in the pool.
Oh yeah.
And I think I ended up getting $2, but that was more money than I ever held in my hand probably at that point. Exciting that I was able to go find a bunch of quarters at the bottom of a 3-foot pool. And then other than that, I think really it's kind of the woods pool on 106 is where we started swimming.
Okay.
I know a lot of other Carmel Swim Club families at the time were there, kind of going to the pool with the family, and then kind of starting to do the little competitive 25-yard races from there. So
Nice. And then was it kind of your inspiration to join the swim club, having done that neighborhood swimming, where you just wanted to you liked the racing side, you wanted to get a little more competitive? Where did that drive come from to take that next step?
Yeah, so I think it was a lot of it. It was from that sort of I wanted to get better at neighborhood swimming at first, because I knew all the really good people were swimming for Carmel Swim Club, and I was like, well, I guess if that's what I want to do, I should do that. My parents were kind of pushing me, you need to pick a sport, that you kind of, want to do. And I was like, this seems pretty fun, and let's give this a shot. And pretty quickly, it just, that's what I was going to do. So
Very
most significant lesson, I think, kind of being able to push through times when things aren't going great. I know my junior year of high school, I had grown a ton and things were just not going well for me. I was adding seconds at a time, massive chunks. Everything hurt every time I swam. And I was in not a very good place with swimming. And then senior year of high school, kind of figured it out all of a sudden, started dropping a ton of time, did well, made the state team again, swam at state, ended up swimming in college. So sort of that hey, things are bad right now. Just kind of keep going, keep grinding, and coming out, better for it, I think was probably.
Have you been able to translate that over into your career in medical school? Has that been a good base of experience for you?
Definitely. I think, especially the first 2 kind of classroom years, sit down and memorize stuff. And then especially our called step 1 of the boards we take is sort of that score determines what residencies you're able to apply to, that sort of thing. And there's about a month and a half where you don't have class, you just sit down and you study for this test, and just kind of being able to go from 8 to 8 every single day for a month and a half, just going through books, going through questions, that kind of thing, I think was very valuable to have done. So would be just really to enjoy the people you're with. I think for me especially, my best friends still are friends that I met at Carmel Swim Club. Later today, I'm actually going to meet Zach Banks, Clayton Hyam, and some swimmers from Wabash for some St. Patrick's Day stuff.
Nice.
I will have been in their weddings, all that. The bond that you make in the pool, I think, going through those tough practices, those early mornings all together, it creates a bond and a friendship that I don't think you get in really any other sort of aspect of life. Kind of forged through fire sort of thing. So at least give it a shot, right? Yeah, for me, that's what it was. It was sort of, we'll give this a try for, a couple months and see how it goes. And very quickly, I made a bunch of good friends.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really been able to impact my life positively, not just through kind of the lessons that I've learned through swimming, and the friendships I've gained, but I mean, I put collegiate swimming and swimming in general as a big part of my application, even for residency. So, it's professionally even been able to help me even, years and years since I've been in a pool competitively. So the whole, we went down to Fort Lauderdale for a meet,
Yeah.
and then did like some practices around there. I think it was sort of one of those, if you're having fun, you're swimming faster, having fun sort of things. Where at least for me, I was dropping a bunch of time, even though the pool probably wasn't the fastest pool in the world. It's an outdoor, random pool.
Shallow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was just, being with all your teammates, everyone pretty much doing pretty well, and then you're having fun. You're in this little, hotel, just with all your friends in Fort Lauderdale. Was awesome. And then I think my senior year Speedo sectionals,
Mm-hmm.
Miami of Ohio,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But I guess like hotels were booked. So we ended up staying in cabins
Yeah.
in a forest nearby. It was just, again, kind of one of those things where it's like everyone was swimming fast. We were dropping time, and then we'd go back and just cabin with all your best friends, and that was just really really fun.
Those are two of my favorite trips too. Everybody I've talked to who was on that Fort Lauderdale trip. Anybody that I've talked to who was on that trip has called it out as one of their favorite times. So I think across the board, it just shows. I feel like everybody really came together in a pretty special way on that trip.
Maybe especially now, the kind of spectrum of people
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of times you hear about, like, like all the super high level, very very competitive stuff, which is definitely true. But I mean, even in my family, there was sort of a spectrum of, I both my sisters swam collegiately, but were never quite as competitive as I was,
Mm-hmm.
and they were still able to have impacts on their team. They were never on a sectional team or anything like that in high school. But it's kind of for all levels, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Whether you're a beginner, even if you're in high school, there's room for everybody, and you can still make, have big impacts and stuff. Like I'll still see people in India who, out and about will chat. They were never, they kind of like, oh yeah, I was swimming in high school, cool, and never went on to swim in college or anything like that. But we're
Mm-hmm.
still don't see each other, so I think
Very
that.
cool.
I think the biggest thing is just for me professionally. I think the reason I got into medical school was because I was a swimmer. If I match where I want to match, the reason that's going to happen is because I swam in high school and college,
Mm-hmm.
not just because of having that on my resume, but then just kind of the lessons I've learned from that. So I think that it's really just made a huge impact on my life professionally as well as personally, with pretty much all my best friends still being from Carmel Swim Club.
Yeah.
So I think that little decision to be like, oh, I think I want to swim when I was 8 years old was one of the best I've made.